Have you ever noticed how certain people's requests don't feel right, like they're not asking, but taking a piece of you? Carl Jung believed that the hidden motives of others often reveal more about their shadow than their words ever could. Some people disguise control, manipulation, and dependency in what seems like simple requests. But if you pay attention, you'll see the pattern. They're not asking for help, they're asking for power over your time, your emotions, and even your sense of self. In this video, we'll uncover the 5 dangerous things people may ask from you that signal manipulation and toxic influence. Once you see them clearly, you'll never ignore the red flags again. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's self-respect. Let's dive into Jung's wisdom and explore the 5 demands you should never trust. Loyalty is often seen as one of the highest virtues in relationships. We are taught from a young age that standing by those we care about is proof of love, devotion, and integrity. But there is a hidden side to loyalty, one that Carl Jung's insights help us understand more deeply. Loyalty is meaningful only when it is rooted in trust, respect, truth. When loyalty is demanded, when it is expected without being earned, it stops being a virtue and becomes a trap. Blind loyalty is dangerous because it asks you to give away your ability to think, to question, and to act according to your own conscience. A person who insists that you should stand by them no matter what is not asking for love, they are asking for control. They want you to abandon your inner truth in favor of their needs, even if those needs are destructive. This is where Jung's psychology reveals a deeper truth. When you give blind loyalty, you are not nurturing your soul, you are feeding someone else's shadow. The shadow, in Jungian psychology, is the part of ourselves we repress, deny, or refuse to acknowledge. A person who demands unquestioning loyalty is usually trying to cover up their own insecurity or weakness. They may fear rejection, exposure, or criticism. And instead of facing those fears within themselves, they manipulate others into carrying that burden. They want your silence, your obedience, and your submission because it keeps them from confronting their own flaws. At first, it may seem harmless to comply. You might tell yourself it's just part of being a good friend, partner, or family member. But over time, blind loyalty erodes your sense of self. You stop trusting your instincts because you're told to ignore them. You stop questioning harmful behavior because you're pressured to defend it. You may even find yourself betraying your own values in order to protect someone who has never truly earned your trust. In this way, blind loyalty doesn't just hurt you, it disconnects you from your authentic self. Jung believed that the purpose of life is individuation, the process of becoming whole, of aligning with your truest self. Blind loyalty is the opposite of individuation. It pulls you away from authenticity and locks you into someone else's unresolved wounds. Instead of growing into who you are meant to be, you shrink into the role of protector, enabler, or follower for someone else's shadow. True loyalty looks very different. It is not blind, it has clear eyes, it is not demanded, it is offered freely. True loyalty does not ask you to sacrifice your boundaries, your dignity, or your inner voice. It grows naturally from trust, honesty, and mutual respect. When someone truly values you, they do not pressure you into silence or obedience. They welcome your truth, even when it challenges them, because they know that honesty is the foundation of real connection. This is why Jung's warning matters so deeply. When someone demands blind loyalty, they are not inviting you into love, they are pulling you into control. They are asking you to abandon your inner compass so that they can feel safe, secure, or superior. But your greatest responsibility is not to carry another person's shadow. It is to remain loyal to your own soul. If you ever feel pressured 2. Prove your loyalty by ignoring your instincts, betraying your values, or silencing your truth. Pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I protecting what is true in me, or am I giving my power away to protect someone else's illusion? This single question can save you from years of pain and confusion. In the end, loyalty should never come at the cost of your authenticity. The people worthy of your devotion will never demand it. They will inspire it by the way they live, the way they honor you, and the way they honor themselves. Blind loyalty may feel like connection in the short term, but in the long run, it is chains disguised as love. Jung reminds us that to live fully, we must never surrender our soul to another's shadow. Your loyalty has meaning only when it is free. And the first loyalty you owe is to the truth within yourself. Time and energy are two of the most precious resources any human being has. Unlike money or possessions, they can never be replaced once they are spent. Every hour you give away, every ounce of energy you pour into something is gone forever. Carl Jung often reminded us that the way we use our life energy shapes not only our outer achievements, but also the growth of our inner self. When someone demands your constant time and energy as if they are endless, they are not respecting you, they are consuming you. At first, it may feel natural to give. We live in a world where generosity, helpfulness, and sacrifice are praised. We want to be there for the people we care about, and there is beauty in that. But the danger begins when giving becomes one-sided. When a person expects you to always be available, always listening, always serving, something shifts. Your time is no longer a gift, it becomes an obligation. Your energy is no longer shared, it is drained. Jung's psychology teaches that the soul needs balance. Just as the body cannot function without rest, the psyche cannot thrive without space to reflect, create, and simply be. When someone constantly pulls on your time and energy, they interrupt this natural balance. You find yourself living on empty, running through life without ever pausing to ask, what does my soul need right now? People who demand your time endlessly often do so because they fear their own silence. They are uncomfortable being alone, afraid of confronting their own thoughts, or unwilling to take responsibility for their own lives. Instead of turning inward, they turn outward, toward you. They use your presence as a distraction from their own emptiness, and while it may look like you're helping, what's really happening is that you are carrying a burden that was never meant to be yours. Over time, this drains not just your energy, but also your spirit. You may begin to feel resentful, exhausted, or invisible. You notice that no matter how much you give, it's never enough. They call, they text, they expect, and you show up. But do they show up for you in the same way? Do they ever ask how? You are what you need or what dreams your soul longs to pursue. If not, what you have is not a relationship. It's an energy exchange that leaves you depleted and them sustained. Jung would say this imbalance keeps you from individuation, the process of becoming whole. Individuation requires solitude, reflection, and time for inner growth. If all your hours are consumed by others, there is no space left for you to listen to your own unconscious, to explore your creativity, or to nurture your inner voice. In serving everyone else, you abandon the most important relationship of all, the relationship with your own soul. Protecting your time and energy does not mean you are selfish. It means you are awake. It means you understand that your energy is sacred, that your hours matter, and that your life is not a bottomless well for others to drink from. In fact, the greatest gift you can give to others is not your constant availability, it is your wholeness. When you are centered, alive, and in tune with yourself, the love and presence you share carries real power. So, when someone demands your constant time and energy, pause and reflect. Are they valuing you or are they consuming you? Are they helping you grow or are they draining the very life out of you? Loyalty, love, and connection must be mutual. If they cannot honor your time as they honor their own, they are not seeking a relationship. They are seeking a resource. Your time is your life. Your energy is your soul in motion. Guard them with care because once given away, they cannot return. And remember, Jung's wisdom, the journey to your authentic self requires space. Without it, you cannot awaken. Truth is powerful. It has the ability to heal, to clarify, to set boundaries, and to set us free. But truth can also be uncomfortable. Many people would rather avoid it, suppress it, or cover it with polite smiles and shallow words. Carl Jung believed that whatever we repress in the unconscious will eventually return, often in ways that disturb us. When someone demands your silence about the truth, they are not protecting peace. They are protecting illusion. Think about the moments when you've noticed something wrong, unhealthy, or dishonest. Maybe it was in a relationship where someone crossed a boundary. Maybe it was in a family where secrets were kept hidden to avoid shame. Maybe it was in a workplace where injustice was ignored to keep things smooth. In these moments, speaking the truth feels heavy, but staying silent feels even heavier. Yet some people will insist that you remain silent. They will say, "Don't bring it up," or "You're making a big deal out of nothing." They may accuse you of being dramatic, negative, or disloyal. What they are really saying is, "Your voice threatens my control. Your truth threatens the comfort of my illusion." Jung's psychology reminds us that the shadow, those hidden, denied parts of ourselves, thrives in silence. When the truth is buried, the shadow grows stronger. When lies are left unchallenged, they begin to feel like reality. In this way, your silence does not create harmony. It feeds dysfunction. It allows manipulation to continue. It keeps wounds from healing. Those who ask for your silence are often asking you to betray yourself. They are asking you to deny what your soul sees and feels. Over time, this creates an inner split. On the outside, you may appear calm and compliant. On the inside, you are restless, resentful, and disconnected. Jung would call this a fracture of the self. You are divided against yourself, choosing to protect someone else's comfort instead of honoring your own integrity. And make no mistake, silence comes at a cost. It costs you your peace. It costs you your authenticity. It costs you the chance to live fully awake. People may say, "Silence keeps the peace," but it's not true peace. It's only the absence of noise. Real peace can only come when truth is spoken, seen, and accepted. It takes courage to speak, especially when others demand your silence. It may disrupt relationships, it may bring conflict, but the alternative, living in constant suppression, is far worse. Jung believed that individuation, the journey to wholeness, requires confronting what is hidden. If you keep quiet about the truth, you stop that journey before it begins. So when someone asks you to silence your truth, pause and ask, whose soul is being honored here? Theirs or mine? If the cost of keeping someone comfortable is the loss of your own authenticity, then the price is far too high. To be clear, speaking truth does not mean being harsh or cruel. Truth can be spoken with compassion, clarity, and calm strength, but it must be spoken. Silence in the face of deception is not kindness, it is self-abandonment. Protect your voice as you protect your soul. Do not give it away to those who fear honesty. Jung would remind you that truth is not an enemy. It is the path to integration, healing, and freedom. If someone cannot bear your truth, it says more about their shadow than it does about your light. Your silence may protect their illusion, but your truth will protect your soul. There is nothing more precious than your authentic self. It is the essence of who you are, your values, your dreams, your unique way of seeing the world. Carl Jung often spoke of individuation, the process of becoming whole, of living in alignment with the deepest truth of the soul. But there are always people who will try to shape, mold, or even erase your authentic self for their own comfort. They may not say it directly. Instead, it comes in subtle requests, quiet pressures, or expectations that seem harmless at first. They might say, "Be more like this," or "Don't act that way," or even, "You should do what I would do." Little by little, they are not asking for compromise. They are asking for you to trade pieces of yourself to keep their approval. This is dangerous because once you begin to give away your identity, you begin to disappear. You may smile and play along on the outside, but inside you start to feel hollow. Jung believed that repressing who you truly are creates deep fractures in the psyche. When we deny our authentic self, we create a shadow version of life, one that looks acceptable to others but feels false to us. Think about how many people live this way. They follow careers they don't love because someone told them it was the smart choice. They stay in relationships where they cannot breathe because they fear disappointing others. They hide their real opinions, their creativity, their spirit because someone close to them said, "That's not who you should be." And the longer they silence their identity, the further they drift from themselves. Those who ask for your identity are not asking for love, they are asking for control. Real love accepts you as you are, even as you grow and change. But control seeks to confine, to limit, to box you into a role that serves someone else's needs. When someone pressures you to abandon your authentic self, it is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their fear of freedom, their fear of difference, their fear of your independence. To live authentically takes courage. It means sometimes disappointing others. It means refusing roles that don't fit. It means being honest about what you believe, even when your voice shakes. Jung said that individuation, the soul's path to wholeness, cannot be achieved by wearing masks. Masks keep you safe in the moment, but they strangle your spirit over time. When you honor your identity, something powerful happens. The need for approval begins to fade. The fear of rejection grows smaller. Instead, you discover an inner strength, a quiet knowing that your worth comes not from being chosen, but from choosing yourself. This is freedom. This is authenticity. So if someone asks you to abandon your identity, to silence your authentic self, remember this: losing their approval may sting, but losing yourself will wound you far deeper. Protect your essence as you would protect your life, because in truth, it is your life. Carl Jung would remind us that the greatest tragedy is not rejection from others, but rejection of the self. And the greatest gift is not to be loved for who you pretend to be, but to be seen, embraced, and honored for who you truly are. Your authentic self is not negotiable. It is sacred, never handed over to those who fear its power. One of the most subtle, yet heaviest demands others place on us is the expectation that we are responsible for their happiness. On the surface, it can sound like love. "I can't be happy without you," or "You make me whole." At first, these words might feel flattering, proof that you matter, that you're valued. But if you look deeper, you'll see something dangerous hidden underneath. Carl Jung taught that when we place our inner emptiness onto someone else, we are projecting what we refuse to face within ourselves. And when another person demands that You carry the burden of their joy. They are doing just that. They are projecting their own unfinished work onto you. The truth is, no one can be responsible for another person's happiness. Happiness is an inner task, a responsibility of the self. It comes from self-awareness, healing, and alignment with one's own soul. When someone makes you responsible for theirs, it becomes a trap. You begin to feel guilty if they're sad, pressured if they're unsatisfied, and obligated to keep them content at the expense of your own well-being. At first, it might feel manageable. You cheer them up when they're down. You give more of your energy when they feel empty. You sacrifice your own needs to keep them smiling. But slowly, you realize that no matter how much you give, it is never enough. Because the hole they're asking you to fill isn't yours. It belongs to them. Jung believed this is the essence of projection. Instead of doing the hard inner work, people push their unhealed wounds onto others. They expect a partner, a friend, or a family member to carry what they themselves refuse to face. But the cost of accepting this role is high. It drains your vitality, it silences your own soul, and it makes genuine love impossible, because true love is not about dependency, but about two whole people meeting freely. This demand often comes wrapped in guilt. If you step back or refuse, they might accuse you of being selfish, cold, or unloving. But remember, refusing to carry another person's happiness is not cruelty. It is truth. It is recognizing that their inner world is their responsibility, not yours. Think about it. If your happiness depended completely on someone else, would you ever feel free? Wouldn't it mean that your joy could be taken from you at any moment, depending on how that other person acted? That is not love. That is bondage. And when someone tries to place that burden on you, they are asking you to carry a weight that no human being can sustain. True connection happens when each person owns their own happiness. When two people meet from a place of wholeness, they add to each other's lives rather than filling a void. It is the difference between sharing joy and extracting joy. The first leads to freedom, the second to exhaustion. Jung's wisdom reminds us, carrying another's soul work robs them of their growth and robs you of your freedom. It may feel compassionate in the moment, but in the long run, it only delays healing for both of you. So when someone demands that you be responsible for their happiness, pause, step back. Remember that their feelings are not your assignment. Your responsibility is to your own soul, your own path, your own wholeness, because only when each person takes ownership of their own happiness can love, respect, and authenticity truly exist. Carl Jung's wisdom shows us that relationships reveal much about the soul, not just through love and connection, but also through the demands others place on us. When people ask for blind loyalty, constant time and energy, the abandonment of your individuality, unquestioned agreement, or the responsibility for their happiness, they are not seeking true intimacy. They are seeking control, comfort, or escape from their own inner work. Each of these demands is a red flag because they pull you away from authenticity and into someone else's shadow. The soul, Jung taught, longs for freedom, truth, and self-awareness. Protecting your energy, setting boundaries, and refusing to carry what is not yours are not acts of selfishness, they are acts of integrity. Real love and meaningful relationships are never about domination or sacrifice of the self. They are about two whole individuals meeting in respect, growth, and authenticity. So stay awake. Listen to the quiet voice within that warns you when something feels wrong. Honor your soul by walking away from those who drain it. If this message resonated, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Jung-inspired insights into the psychology of life, love, and the soul.